We have two new methods in modern JavaScript called every and sum. Very useful methods. So here we have our numbers array. Let's imagine we want to check and see if all numbers in this array are positive. So we call numbers.every, and here we pass a callback function. Here in the IntelliSense, you can see this callback function has three parameters. Value, which is a number because here we have an array of numbers. Index, which is the index of this value in the array. And again, that's a number. And finally, the array itself. Now, when writing this function, you don't have to add all these parameters. You can only add the ones that you need. For example, here I'm going to add a function. And I'm only going to add one parameter value because I don't care about the index of these elements. So we pass this callback function. And in this function, we can check to see if this value is a positive number. So we return value greater than or equal to 0. If this expression, the value is to true, we'll return true. Otherwise, we'll return false. Now, finally, this method will return a Boolean. So we can store it in a constant called all positive. So when we call this method, this is what's going to happen. This method will run this function on every element in this array. As soon as it finds an element that doesn't match this criteria, it's going to stop searching. Let me show you. So let's log all positive on the console. You can see it's true because every element or every number in this array is a positive number. However, if I add -1 here, we get false. And basically, as soon as we hit this number, the search will terminate. So if we have a million other numbers in this array, this every method is not going to call this callback function on those numbers. Okay. Now we have a similar method called sum, and that checks to see if we have at least one element in this array that matches this criteria. So if I replace every with sum and save the changes, we're going to see true. However, I'm going to change the name of this variable because this is distracting. So always pay great attention to the name of your variables and functions. Make sure they're explaining the right thing. So press F2 and rename this to at least one positive. Okay, save the changes, we get true. So this sum method will run this callback function on every element in this array. As soon as it finds an element that matches this criteria, it's going to return true and the search will terminate. So in the current example, if we have a million numbers in this array, because the first number matches this criteria, this callback function will be executed only on this first element. So it doesn't matter what we have after the first element. So to recap, every checks to see if every element in a given array matches the given criteria. And sum checks to see if we have at least one element that matches the given criteria. Just to let you know, these methods are new in JavaScript. So some older browsers do not support this. But later in the course, I'm going to explain how to bring these methods in older browsers.